Welcome to Hey Clarity. I'm your host, Lindsay, and today we're doing a collective Akashic Records reading for the year 2026. So we're going to take a peek into next year, and we're going to ask the questions: what is the overall theme of 2026? How are we entering the new year? How are we entering 2026? What do we need to do now to prepare for 2026 for the highest good of all? What lessons from 2025 will benefit us in 2026? And what's the most important message we need to know? Let's get into it. First question: what is the overall theme of 2026? I'm getting shocked. Be prepared to be shocked. Lots of changes, like big changes. And I'm getting shocked in like good surprises. Just lots of shock. I'm getting shock value. Big changes. Like this life force. They're like life force field. There's a lot of energy kind of like popping up globally, like big, and it feels like it could be like big new ideas, innovation, invention, like stuff is like ready to burst, ready to pop. So that seems to be the general theme for 2026, and they're repeating the word shocked and to be prepared to be shocked, whatever that means. Prepared to be shocked. It's overwhelming. Like even if these are like exciting new surprises, like we can just feel very like exhausted afterwards. They're kind of like our energy levels will be like, the experience of the surprise or the shock or the innovation or the new idea or this just wonderful thing or not wonderful thing. We get like really, really high levels and then crash. So there's something about like us observing our energy levels with things. They're like shocking waves. There are going to be shocking waves, some of which are for shock value, which feels like manipulation. And some of it is good news, good ideas. But shock value seems to be kind of a global, and shocking waves are global. And this will challenge our energy levels in like a new way. What goes up must come down. So when we have really heightened experiences, I'm getting just like be aware of the come down. Be aware of the drop after something very, very high or something very, very, exciting. The drop comes next. So we're going to be almost like navigating some extremes in ourselves and trying to like find balance, with them. So it's like very, very high and then very, very low. And they're saying that like something about the extremes being normalized, it's not always a good thing. Right? So us maintaining our energy levels and us doing all the things in moderation. They're like moderate yourself, monitor your energy levels, and try and stay as kind of balanced or like harmonious in your like everyday living as possible. And they're like, as your world is spinning, as your world turns, as the world turns. It's funny. As your world turns around, they're saying, as your world turns around. And it's almost like they're showing the earth and the sun on the earth, lighting it up. And it's like the rotation of the earth and the sun giving it light and how it's spinning around. Why are you showing that specifically? Like the need for the earth, the need for like people, the need for humanity to be lightened up and like lighthearted. And like doing all the things that help you feel that way, which could literally mean like making sure you're getting enough sun, making sure you're getting enough light, like nature. You know, everything on earth needs light. I'm getting most species on the earth need light to survive, and we are one of them. So it's for our well-being, it's for our health, our mental health, making sure we're getting light, making sure we're getting into environments that like finding the nature that really rebalances and restores us. What is that? Is it the mountains? Is it the ocean? Is it beach? Is it desert? Like really thinking about like locations for you to visit. I'm getting frequent. Like moving around and taking trips to places that replenish you is like crucial. They're saying critical. So if it's like once or twice throughout the year, good. Like plan almost like ahead. They're like, get ahead of it. Start thinking of like what environments, what landscapes, what climate really brings you back to life and replenishes you and nourishes you, and start saving or planning the time when you know that you maybe like historically hit dips of like mood, when you need to feel more elevated. So they're like, plan like 1 or 2 trips for yourself next year. Like we need to be getting outside. We need to be getting more movement. We need to be like basking in like fresh air and sunshine and like being among, they're saying, among the creatures and the comfort of the electromagnetic field of the earth. It was a long explanation for the theme. Thank you for that. How are we entering the new year? How are we entering the new year? Like depleted. We've lost steam. They're kind of saying gassed out. Yeah, I'm just seeing like a completely like deflated balloon. How are we entering the new year? Deflated. There's something about the fact that there's like this element of air, which is like messages and information, overload, overwhelm. And we're needing more emotion. We're needing more inner realm, emotional, like I'm seeing like filling our glasses up. Filling our glasses up. There's a lot of air. This year was just, we were just like bombarded with messaging and information and stuff of the mind, stuff through our eyes. And they're like, oh, you guys need to like, you need to hydrate more. You need to eat more nourishing foods. You need to be, you know, taking your time in bodies of water. It's like, you know, can you give yourself salt baths? Can you, again, go to the ocean, dip yourself in the ocean, you know, a lake, a pool. I'm just seeing lots of bodies of water, and just there's a lot of releasing and like emotional releasing that needs to come. We're almost like we're so pent up with this like information and messaging overload throughout the year that we need this to like drain out of our system. Like we need to like detox and purge. There's something really big about hydration, like drinking more water and not being dehydrated, helping things release and flow more smoothly through our systems. And we might like notice that we're more dehydrated, like we're taking in caffeine or alcohol, and all these things are like, they're kind of like sucking you guys dry. And when we like don't have the flow of water through our systems to move things through, if it's like sweating and detoxing, drinking water, flushing it through our systems, if we don't have that, I'm getting like, we can feel really stagnant, and all of this stuff just kind of like gets stuck in our energy system, and it just needs to flow through. It needs to move through. So we're like, there's just a lot of air, a lot of messaging, and we need like bodies of water. They're saying like warm water bodies, warm water bodies. Warm, womb-like, which is I think why they keep kind of showing like a bathtub to me. Yeah, that seems like it'd be really, really nourishing. Soak. Anything else? How are we entering the new year? How are we entering the new year? They're just saying like there's like mass dehydration, like from like an energetic perspective. And they're like, no, literal too. They're like, it's literal. They're like, it's more literal. They're actually saying it's more literal. Maybe we're not drinking enough water. All right, good to know. What do we need to do now to prepare for 2026 for the highest good of all? They kind of alluded to preparing something in the first message, but let's go deeper. What do we need to do now to prepare for 2026 for the highest good of all? They just said sleep, hibernation, the do nothingness that they mentioned in December, in the December reading. They're showing like a bear in hibernation, like really sleeping, like really doing nothing. And they're like, it is so challenging for you guys to do nothing. You like don't know how to do nothing. Even if it's like, they're like, it doesn't have to be like a full day. You know, it's not a waste of your time. But they're giving like a 3 to 4 hour thing of like, could you curl up in bed for 3 to 4 hours one evening and do nothing? Like, can you sit in that darkness? Like, what would happen? Like, would you fall asleep? Would you think about a lot of stuff? You know, leave all your electronics, like no phone, you know, they're like, curl up in bed, go dark, like 3 to 4 hours. And there's something about that being like a really good, like internal check-in moment. They're giving us like a homework assignment. And they're like, 1 to 2 days of the month of December, can you give yourself 3 to 4 hours of do nothingness? Because there's rest that needs to happen. There's restoration that needs to happen. There might be some more, intuitive things that just naturally come through. And they're like, we don't want you to be like looking for it or thinking about it. We just want you to sit and be and do nothing. And they're like, meditation helps, If you have your everyday daily meditation practice, like that helps a lot. But they're like, for most people, who don't meditate regularly, there's something about 3 to 4 hours, 1 to 2 days throughout the month of December. Just see what happens when you do nothing. See what happens they're saying do boredom. See what happens when you do boredom. I'm just seeing that like we have been repressing so much in ourselves by being distracted and chasing our addictions, various addictions, harmless addictions, nothing harmful. They're not saying the harmful. They're saying some harmful, but they're like, most of it's just like harmless. But it's our loops, our cycles, and our patterns when we're like avoiding feelings or avoiding taking care of ourselves. And so I'm just seeing that like some important stuff wants to pop up. these little gifts, these little presents want to pop up. If you can just give yourself some time. It's not like intentional reflection. You're not really like trying to think or figure anything out or waiting for messages to come. Just get bored. Do boredom. Anything else? What do we need to do now to prepare for 2026 for the highest good of all? They're just saying practice boredom, like what we call boredom, but what is generally called like rest, like actual rest. To do nothingness. What lessons from 2025 will benefit us in 2026? What lessons from 2025 will benefit us in 2026? Looking around and seeing who your people are and who your people are not. And they're showing like 2025 as a time where we were just like, found my people, found some people, found my person. And you're like looking side to side and you're like, my peoples. So the lessons are around our relationships. Who came through for you and who did not? And does it matter? You know, did it hurt? Was it harmful when they didn't? Or was it kind of expected and like you accept it, right? Doesn't have to be like a harsh, harmful realization, but they're like, it gets easier. It gets easier. Like the comings and the goings of people, the endings and beginnings of friendships, once you kind of realize this, like how we come in and out of each other's lives. There's a little bit more ease, but I'm seeing that we are either on the precipice of this or we have been developing this throughout the year of 2025. Our friendships, our connections, our community. It's like, oh, like these are your people. These are my people. And it's like there was a bit of like going deeper or getting to know new people with these, you know, tight bonds, these tight connections. And now you get to know each other to a point where it's like it's time to celebrate and have fun together too. Because we may have found each other through like support, needing support, or banding together through activism, right? We met these people through, you know, important core value type of experiences, circumstances. So we connected on these deeper levels to begin with. And now it's like, all right, now that we've got that covered, now that there's this level of trustworthiness, reliability, responsibility, like I care for this person cares for me. The next part is like, all right, let's enjoy our lives a bit together, you know, like enjoy yourself, have some fun, go on adventures. Time to play. So like in 2026, there will be a more dynamic, multifaceted, you know, relationship with your people. You'll be doing more things, exploring more things. It's kind of like the next level of the bond. And lifting each other up, helping each other up, giving each other a leg up. It gets easier and it gets busier. It gets busier, they're saying, easier and busier. And I just see a bunch of people like hoisting each other over walls. Like there's two people at the bottom putting their arms out and then one person takes a step and we lift them up and then they can climb over the wall. We're like hoisting each other up. We're lifting each other up. We're getting each other, you know, past our barriers and over the walls. Like we're just helping each other out in a more energetically easier way. It's almost like we did a lot of like the heavy lifting together at the very beginning. And now there's more of like a focus. We can be more focused on each other, like in smaller groups, in like intimate circles or like one-on-one. Anything else? What lessons from 2025 will benefit us in 2026? our spiritual experiences, our heightened sensitivity to the spirit world, the magnitude, the mass waves of those realizations for like everybody. They're just saying spiritual experiences, have come online in a much more normalizing way. We can talk about it much, much more easily, openly. People are more open-minded to the spirit world and our spirit connections. It becomes more everyday. In 2026, people are less afraid of it and more enchanted by it, are more connected to it, plugged into it, like recognizing it, the realizations and revelations. Heart-centered, very heart-centered, the unconditional love from the spirit world, recognizing that, and that it's a part of you, that we're interconnected, we're intertwined, and we always have been, and we always will be. And having this spiritual part of us come online in a much bigger way allows us to have more faith and trust and hope in ourselves and the world around us and in humanity. So the fact that our spiritual experiences have come online are just our wake-up calls. They're waking us up to our interconnectedness to everything, to every living being, human, nature, animals, all of it. And I'm just seeing like a deeper appreciation, deeper gratitude for our connection to the natural world that we are such a part of, but we have been such a missing part of. So it's almost like I'm seeing someone like in a park, and then they kind of are like running in the park, running on the grass. There are like trees all around, and they just like kind of like leap onto the ground. I don't know, like there's just like a recognition of the lack of it, a recognition of the disconnection. This person just like is like leaping onto the grass and is just like almost like hugging the grass, like feeling grounded and supported and loved by it. It's very interesting visual, but it's kind of like that. Anything else? What lessons from 2025 will benefit us in 2026? They said spiritual experiences. They'll be validated and confirmed even more in 2026 and beyond. It just gets more open and bigger and broader over the next 5-10 years. Way more normalized. They're like, this work, this work, and the spirit world. Okay, what's the most important message we need to know about 2026? I'm seeing leadership falling out. I'm seeing leadership, people in leadership roles being done. Like disappearing act I'm getting, or like falling outs, giving up, not worth it, more conscious, more conscientious, having, realizations about themselves and just being like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. It's almost like they're coming alive. They're having like spiritual awakenings and spiritual experiences, like waking them up to their behaviors and having their like quote unquote come to Jesus moment. Like I'm just seeing like I'm seeing a lot of like falling out within leadership, like globally. Almost like the pressure of our projections and our judgments, the pressure of our words, or penetrate them deeper next year. Almost like from their ego perspective, like hurt their feelings. They're not really able to get past the judgment of the people. So this feels like our world leaders are having their wake-up calls. And it's like, it's almost as if people, we the people, don't really have to do much at all for this to happen. It's almost like the people, we go back to living our lives, we ignore them because we're taking care of ourselves and each other. We're doing all the things without them, and it's almost like these are like big babies who want attention. And once they stop getting attention from us, once they get radio silence from us, they're like bored and they don't know like what to do to get our attention, to like distract us or cause chaos, because we're just like, we see through them. We see that they're big babies and they're playing games, stupid, very dangerous games with human lives. And it's like we like turn our backs, we ignore them, and we focus on what's important. And we make changes in our environment, in our immediate neighborhoods where we are, with the people in front of us. And it's almost like we're no fun to them anymore, because they're not getting a rise out of us. And I'm getting, there are plenty of people that are still going to be impacted and react. But I'm getting the majority of people are like, well, you guys are stupid and you're doing this all wrong and you don't care about us. So we kind of have to take it into our own hands to take care of each other. And like, you can fuck around and do all the dumb shit you want, but like, we're going to do this on our own, thanks. We're going to figure this out on our own, thanks. We're more intelligent. We're more creative. We're more educated. We're more cultured and diverse. We see how special we are. And just like the brilliant specialized, I'm getting the word specialized, the brilliant specialized people throughout the world are like, why are we like waiting for them? We don't need their permission. You know, yeah, they can put some blocks in our way to like make things harder for us. But like, I'm just seeing us like pushing the envelope of the things that we can do, like either like under the radar or just like without like government permission. Just like all the stuff that we can just do because it's like a natural way. It's like the way of human beings and like how we can be living. Like a good life, like how to make a good living. So we're just figuring stuff out without them, and it seems like they lose interest in their roles and their jobs because they're not getting the attention and the ego boost and the shock value that they expect, want, desire, need, get off on. Anything else? What's the most important message about 2026? That shock value. I get that like we like adapt to that real fast. We're like, we're not playing those games. We're not playing those games anymore. We don't have time for those games. We're going to get moving on the stuff that really matters. Thanks. We're like, thanks, good riddance, and goodbye. Okay. I was about to say that's it, and they're popping one more little thing in my head. Hold on. I'm seeing like a big bow, like a velvet bow in front of my face. What is this bow? Luxury, enjoyment, simple things, sensual things, sensations. Indulge Indulge in the things that feel like luxury. Simple ways, small ways. Do you have a super soft pillow? Like, there's something about sensations and us maybe almost like it's almost like minimalism and luxury. I'm getting like a few things, a few special things, but they feel really nice. Comfort, sensation, sensual. They're saying, don't forget about your sensual sides. Don't forget about sensations. Don't forget about leisure and luxury. This bow, this velvet bow that's in front of me. Anything else about this? It's like changing colors. It's all different types of colors, like all the seasons. Okay, throughout the whole year, really, really allow yourself and surround yourself with things that make you feel like luxurious. A back to basics with like finer things, fewer things, finer things, nicer things. Less is more. Quality is more. Quantity becomes overwhelming. Simplified, minimalist. And some of this is our behavior around spending habits, but also the importance and our need of distributing wealth, giving and gifting special items and special things to people in need. This is also part of why we, like almost like, the fuck you to like government, is we're just like, oh, okay, well, we're going to figure out systems of like how to take care of each other and give each other what we need. And there's something about us distributing our wealth, like in small ways, like small things and big things. We're giving each other things. We're feeling very gifty, donating, gifting, giving away. And they might even be like really special items, and you're just with somebody and you're like, I've had this for 15 years and I love this thing so much. And I don't know, it just feels like I want to give this to you, and the person is so happy. Like, oh my God, like I love it. It's beautiful. Like it's so special. There's gifting. There's gifting and less is more. Gifting and donating and volunteering and showing up for each other. There's a lot more of that. They're like good wealth distribution. And like health is wealth, So like our health, our well-being is also part of the distribution. How are we taking care of each other like that? So there's something about a shift in our perspective. And then this less is more mentality. And that like minimalist and simplified can feel really luxurious. Okay. They're like gifts. They're like give gifts. Be gift givers. Give it away. Give things away to people who need it, because more people will need more things. More support, like whatever that is. You'll just know and feel like I want to volunteer, I want to give this thing to this person, or I want to, whatever it is. You're going to feel it, and it's going to feel so easy and so natural. It's going to become like a way of living, a way of being. Like, oh, like I see this person in need. I see that they need this specific thing, this specific type of support. And it's like, oh, look, I can give that to them. Let me just give that to them. Like right now. We have less hesitation around giving. It's much more automatic. It's much easier to give. And I'm seeing we're receiving gifts from above. Like we're just receiving something, an abundance feeling gratitude, something. We just receive it and then it goes outward around us. It's almost coming from heaven. It's coming from source. It's coming from up above. These feelings are just flooding through us and almost, taking over us in a way where we just love to give. They're like gifts of love. And gifts of love are like this beautiful kind of like interconnected, unconditional kind of cycle. Like when I'm receiving and I feel fed and fueled, like I am capable of giving. When I have all that I feel that I need and I feel like fueled up, my generosity just like pours out of me. So we're going to be feeling a lot of that. And it's going to become like a way of living, a way of being. Cool. Okay, so that was a peek into 2026. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys next time.